Here it is. Sorry.
You have two?
I have two at home.
Oh, they gave you?
They gave
You need
me,
a copy of this?
yeah.
No. I mean, they usually run some
They do two tests. No, they always do.
Please rise. 34 Section 92 First Street, beside.
Have a seat. People versus Alexis Fusco. Jane Gillis on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service of Detroit by Natalie Phelps, P83355, appearing on behalf of Ms. Alexis Fusco, who is also present in the courtroom, standing to my right. Ms. Fusco, can you please state your name for the record?
Alexis Amalia Fusco.
How many witnesses?
One witness, I asked my officer in charge, Detective Long, be allowed to stay in the courtroom. He'll be seated to my left. He is not testifying, and we're gonna
That's fine.
call Officer Chris Hayes at this time.
Come on up, officer. Yep, all the way up there. Can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you'll give in this matter will be the true self of God. Have a seat. Go ahead.
Officer, can you state your name for the record?
Christopher Hayes.
And on July 13th, 2021 at 12:46 a.m., were you working
Yes.
as a Van Buren police officer?
Yes.
Okay. And were you in the area of Sumter and Hull Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you observe something unusual?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that?
A vehicle speeding.
Okay, what kind of vehicle? Do you remember?
I-
You can look at your report if you need to refresh your recollection, and then turn it back over.
White Jeep, southbound on Sumter Road.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object. I mean, he was reading it off the page.
Flip it back over. That's fine. Don't read from it. Go ahead.
Okay, and when you observed the speeding, did you have a radar on?
Yes.
Okay, and then what did you do next after that?
I effected a traffic stop of the vehicle on Sumter Road east of, on Bemis Road east of Sumter.
Okay. And
And I'd like to correct that. It's actually going to be west of Sumter.
thank you. And did you approach the vehicle?
Yes.
Were you the only one in your car?
Yes.
Okay. Did you approach the driver's side?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, this is leading.
They're preliminary questions, but try to avoid the leading questions, Ms.
Okay.
Gillis.
After you approached, what did you do next?
I spoke with the driver.
Okay, and do you see that driver here in court today?
I do.
And can you tell me what he or she is wearing?
A black top with a necklace on.
Can the record reflect he's identified the defendant?
So reflective.
Okay, and so when you approached, what did you do next? And what happened?
I started discussing with her why I stopped her.
Okay, and did you notice anything unusual at that time?
I could smell alcohol in the vehicle.
Okay, and what did you do next?
Could I refresh my report as far as the order of what I did?
Sure, just look at it,
I will,
read it,
yeah.
and then turn it back over. Okay,
Okay, I spoke with her and asked her if if she consumed any alcohol. She told me she didn't initially. And then she said she did approximately 5 hours prior to our contact. Do you want me to go through the whole thing?
and then what did you do next?
At that point, I advised her, requested her if she would do some field sobriety tests to make sure she was okay to drive.
And did she agree?
And she did agree.
And did you get her out of the car?
I did get her out of the vehicle.
And then what happened?
Performed 3 field sobriety tests, and she failed all 3 of them.
Can you tell me which test that you?
Can I-
refresh? Yeah, just tell me which test you did.
Actually, I put on here, she failed 2 of the 3. The 3
Okay.
tests were the horizontal gaze nystagmus, the numbers count, and the one-legged stand.
And which ones did she fail?
The horizontal gaze nystagmus and the numbers count.
Okay. And after she had failed 2 of those preliminary tests, what did she do after that?
I advised her of her PBT rights and requested that she takes one of them as PBT.
Okay, I don't want to know the results on the PBT.
Okay.
So after you took the PBT, what did you do next after that?
I then placed her in custody for drunk driving.
Okay, and did you take her, where did you take her after that?
Transferred to the police station.
Okay, and did you do a data master test?
I did.
Okay, and did she agree to take the data master?
She did.
Okay, and do you remember what the results? Let me ask you this, did you wait the appropriate time before giving the test?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you give 2 tests?
Yes.
Do you recall what the results were?
I would have to look.
Mayor Coach, Your Honor, I have this data master report.
Well, did you do the data master or did you have did somebody else do it?
I did.
Okay, do you remember what the results were for each of those? If you want to look at that and then turn it over, and can you tell me what the results were?
0.14 on both of them.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Ms. Phelps?
Thank you, Your Honor. Is it okay if I use the podium?
Yep.
Good morning, Officer Hayes.
Morning.
Okay, I just have a few questions for you. If you don't understand one of my questions, you'll ask me to rephrase it. Is that fair? Okay, thank you. Does your department have body worn camera?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. Can you-
Does your police department have body worn camera?
Yes.
Were you issued one of those cameras?
Yes.
And do you recall if you activated that device during this interaction?
I do believe I did.
Okay, and is that something that you have to do to activate, or does it activate automatically?
We can do both, but it activates automatically when the lights are turned on.
Okay, and do you recall in this case if you activated it yourself?
I don't recall. I believe I did. I always have it on. So.
Okay. And your the vehicle that you were driving in, does it also have a dash camera?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recall if it, to your knowledge, was functioning during this incident?
Yes, ma'am. Those are working.
And the dash camera, is it synced to your vehicle? Does it also record the speed or other things that your vehicle does?
I don't know that for sure.
Okay, okay. During this incident, were you alone or did anybody else assist you during this incident?
There was another officer that assisted me.
Okay, and what was the name of that officer?
Officer Buxton.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Officer Buxton.
Puxton? Can
B,
you-
B, B as in boy, B-U-X-T-O-N.
B-U-X-T-O-N.
Thank you. And you testified on direct that you stopped this vehicle for speeding.
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you know the vehicle was speeding?
From the display in my patrol car's radar.
So your patrol car has radar equipment in it?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the speed?
Can I, so I kind of look at. $80 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone.
You didn't need the radar to tell you that she was
No,
speeding.
ma'am, not initially.
Okay, and so you testified that you conducted some field sobriety tests in this case. Are you trained to conduct those tests?
Yes.
Can you tell me about your training?
Received standardized field sobriety testing in Oakland County. I don't remember the exact date.
You said Oakland County?
Oakland County.
And how long have you been a police officer?
24 years.
And how many OWI investigations would you say you've done?
Probably at least 7 to 10 a year.
Can you say that again?
At least probably somewhere in the range, I'll correct that, 4 to 10 a year.
Okay.
Does that include marine?
Yeah, yes, actually it does.
What was that last part?
I said, does that include marine? He's marine. He does the waters, on the water.
Oh, marine. Okay.
Boat-related drunk drivings.
Understood. Okay. And Officer Hayes, you testified that you conducted the horizontal gaze and nystagmus test. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you testified that she failed this test?
yes.
Can you tell me how you administer this test?
The test basically takes place, they're following a object, usually my finger or a pen, keep their head straight and eyes straight, and the pen or the finger moves beyond their peripheral vision. You're observing nystagmus, which is basically the bouncing of the eye at the maximum deviation of the 45 degrees from straight on. And you observe if the eyeball or if the eye basically bounces, which is nystagmus.
Okay. And so what would a failure of this test look like?
Observation of the actual nystagmus at maximum deviation, 45 degrees.
So you would see a bouncing in the eyes?
Yes,
And did you have an opportunity to review your body cam footage for this case?
I did not.
Did you review anything else to prepare for testifying today, besides the report
No.
you have in front of you?
No,
No, okay. And so you did testify that you did have body worn footage of this incident. Would that footage, to your, I guess, knowledge, would have recorded this test being performed, I guess?
yes.
If I could briefly, I have the HDMI cable hooked up. I think this should.
I don't know, if you didn't contact my tech people ahead of time, I'm not,
Okay, I think the last time I was here, I think we got it.
if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you're out of luck.
All right. Fair enough. So yeah, maybe I don't know what to do from this stage now. Okay, well,
Got it.
I don't know. I guess we can't do this part. Okay, so if there was footage of Ms. Fusco's eyes from your body worn camera while this test was being administered, that bouncing would have been recorded, or what does that bouncing look like? Like, would you be able to, would a lay person be able to observe that?
To be honest with you, I've never actually observed a test that I've given with my body cam on before, so I'm not sure if it would catch it or not.
Okay, so is it like a slight bounce, or how does it, can you, I guess, describe a little bit more what
It's
that
just a
looks like?
bounce. It's just the eye just bounces as it gets to the.
Is it like a nanosecond, a couple seconds, or?
They don't specify. It either is or it isn't a bounce. I mean, if you don't have nystagmus, there's no bounce.
Okay. And so to be clear, the video, I can't get any help with figuring that out now, I guess. It's like, I have it all plugged in, but I don't know how to control it from here, I guess, so. I pushed, but it doesn't come on. So, I've done this through the Zoom before. Can I try that real quick?
You can try whatever you want, but I'm not giving you any extra time, because if you have tech issues, you have to get a hold of us ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Not in the middle of it. And I don't have at noon when my tech guy is on lunch, and we're not gonna screw around with it.
Okay. Understood. So I think.
Do you have it pulled up?
Yes. So I'm in the Zoom.
So there, it's on that HDMI on your,
Oh, cool. All right, great. I'm gonna get out of the Zoom then. Well, that's my background, but. We don't know what to do from here. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the Zoom then. Can you let me into the Zoom room and then I can share screen?
what's your question? I'm not doing Zoom from here. I'm doing Zoom from my office. So you're
Okay.
asking me to go let you in so that you can display and show? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
I can't even get this to go off on the screen
He
now.
doesn't do upstairs since he does like.
I think it disconnected.
I'm trying to get. I have to email CDL sergeant. Do you know who he is? Oh, yeah.
No, I can't even get it to go back.
Yes, it's trying to get help. See, I've done
I'm
this.
pretty sure.
I thought this was special for this courtroom, and it would just work.
You know, I've seen it, it's done. See, you have to really have a good camera.
There. Did you dial into my Zoom?
I did.
Your officers just gotta be able to move back to its yes.
I'm not sure.
Recording in progress.
There's you.
Okay. Can you mute me? Okay. Okay, Officer Hayes, what we see on the screen here, do you recognize that?
Yes,
And is that, to your knowledge, your body cam from the night of this incident?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and from what you can see there, does that look like you're about to perform the horizontal gaze nystagmus?
Yes.
Okay. And so then I guess, Your Honor, I'm requesting permission to show this video to the officer briefly to see the test.
Go ahead.
Okay. And so from where we are right now, can you see like kind of how her eyes look?
Absolutely not.
You can, okay. Do you want to try to get closer? Or?
Well, I'm not sure if you play it, if I'll be able to see that. I can't even see your pupils at all from.
Okay.
But if you play it,
All right, we'll take a look.
it may just be because it's not moving. I can see them now, yes.
And so, so I'm going to just pause it for a second. So, was this the beginning of the test, or do you want me to go back a little bit here?
I don't know where the beginning of the test was.
I'm just going to go back a little bit here.
There we go.
I know that there's probably like a whole minute here. So I'm gonna...
I think it's just that they I was going for a walk and turn.
Okay.
I couldn't keep my balance.
So for the record, I'm playing starting from timestamp 11:39 on Officer Hayes' body-worn camera. And I'm going to just hit play. It looks like we'll get the whole test this way.
Nystagmus this way
You can both ways.
and not the other way though, would that happen?
Usually you'll get it both.
Hey, Tim.
Basically, what you have to do is just step up. So he has 2 swipes, third and fourth.
Okay, I'm going to stop for a second. So when, okay. So right there, when the eyes are all the way to the right, is that the range where you would see the bouncing?
Yes, at the maximum deviation of the
Okay.
peripheral.
So from how we can see her eyes, did you see any bouncing?
Not in this video, no.
Okay. I'm going to just finish. I think you go back and forth a little bit more here.
Yeah, typically I see one.
Okay, so just to be clear, you testified that you didn't see the bouncing at all in this video that we just.
Are you done with the video?
I might have one more small section, and I think I have it, so there shouldn't be any feedback now. And so then you testified that you performed a numbers test,
Yes,
and you testified that she failed that.
yes.
And what is the numbers test?
Can I review my report? Basically, that test involves her counting backwards from 100 to 50. And she did not follow the instructions of the test, and she jumbled her numbers and did not count correctly.
Okay, and would your body-worn camera have captured this test as well?
Yes, it should. eyes closed, you're not.
Okay. So I'm going to play that portion of your video also. I believe it starts here.
83, 82.
Okay.
Back, look at the stars. Keep your, now close your eyes. And I want you to count from 100 and back to 50 for me.
See, that's okay. 99, 98,
Give me a
97,
side, Joe.
96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90.
Hands at your sides, head back, eyes closed, you're not.
83, 82, 81, 79, 78, 79,
All right.
Okay, so that was that the full test?
That, yes.
Okay.
I didn't add that she also needed to keep, I instructed her to keep her head back, eyes closed, hands down on her sides. Obviously that I was telling her to do that throughout the test too, which she failed to do.
Okay. And then you said she also did the one leg stand.
Yes.
And did she pass this test?
I believe I wrote in my report that she did, but it was basically she was using her arms for balance.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sometimes if it's if it's not very clear, I'll give that test to them, basically. Say, just because they're not keeping their arms down or whatever, I try not to gig them for that, basically.
Okay. And so you also testified that you did a PBT, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you maintain that machine that you use?
Do I maintain it? The department does.
Okay, so, but you don't perform any maintenance on it yourself?
I do not know.
Did you watch her for a full 15 minutes before you administered that test?
I believe I did.
And the data master, you testified that you performed that test yourself? Or actually, let me go back for a second. So you said after the PBT, then you arrested her?
Yes.
And was she cooperative during that arrest?
Semi.
Okay. And did you ever read her Miranda rights?
No.
So you testified that you did the data master test yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you observe her for the 15 minutes before taking this test?
Yes.
Did you have your body worn camera on when you were doing this test?
I do not remember.
Okay. When this test was performed, where were you?
It was in the booking room, and I do generally keep it on, but I don't remember if the body, that is recorded.
You say that is recorded. Are you talking about your body worn camera or another way?
The booking room. My
Okay, so
apologies.
the booking room, there should be video of that test being done. That video, do you recall where she was for the 15 minutes that you observed her before performing the test?
Generally, they're on the bench, what we
Okay.
call the bench. Which
She'd
is-
be in that room,
Yeah, oh, yes.
and it would have been recorded then, her being in that room too.
Yes.
Did you have her fill out a consent form for the test?
No.
And are you trained in performing the test?
Yes.
Can you tell me about your training?
I received data master testing a long time ago. I don't remember the actual date, and it was also in Oakland County.
When you say a long time ago, was that at the beginning of your career?
Yes, probably 15, 20 years ago.
And do you ever do any continuing education or refresher courses?
Myself, I do, yes. On my own.
Okay, it's just like home study kind of
Yes.
stuff, okay. No further questions for you. Thank you, officer.
Anything else, Ms. Gillis?
I just have a question about,
Can you unshare your video?
depending on how much a person's intoxicated, does that make the bouncing of the nystagmus different?
It does not.
Okay. And do you look for bouncing on the inside and outside, or just the outside?
On the outside.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask one follow-up question?
Sure.
Officer, do you know, would anything else cause the bouncing of the eyes?
I do not know.
Like medication or marijuana? Or
I have no idea.
You're not sure. Thank you.
You can step down, officer. Any other witnesses, Ms. Gillis?
I have no more witnesses, Your Honor.
Motion,
I move to bind over on the charges containing the information.
argument, Ms. Phelps?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the bind over request of dismissal at this time. It seems from Officer Hayes' testimony that there was not probable cause for an arrest at the point that he arrested her. We heard that she failed the gaze and nystagmus test. The footage, I don't see any bouncing of the eyes there. The other test that he indicated, this numbers test, is not a test that's really recognized by the courts. And the one that gets seen, she did pass according to his testimony. And so, Your Honor, I would request that this case be dismissed here, as the arrest was done without probable cause in violation of the Fourth Amendment. We also haven't heard anything about, and so, Your Honor, I would move to suppress also the data master results, of course, because they were the fruit of an illegal arrest here. And we also haven't heard anything about any prior convictions, which
Prior convictions are noted by the court for purposes of exams. I disagree with your argument. I'm going to bind the defendant over the arraignment on the information that take place 2
Thank
weeks
you.
from today at 9 a.m. I continue to bond.
2 weeks from today, do you know, can you give me the date? Or-
Yeah, it's November 3rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please send me that email. I've been emailing my supervisors in my house.
What email?
About the over Christmas.
Mariah already called downtown. We scheduled a docket on your and Mr. Curry's work, so we're just scheduling it.
It's like the usual thing, try to keep it light, you know? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tolerating my issue.
Don't know how to mute this.
We need to figure that kind of out.
But it's pretty neat, some of the stuff there shows that we show exhibits and like, there's something in there that magnifies on.
So the next time I come, even if I'm not gonna play a video, I'm gonna like ask to come early and learn all of that. Cause I bought a special table just for this courthouse, like I wanna be able to use it.
Yeah, and I've got guys in this product.
Okay, cool. Well, I will make arrangements next time.
I don't know how to mute this. I could leave it zooming. I don't know how to mute this. Okay, camera one, mute. I do not know how to mute this from here. Raise your hand. Have this one on the information and search warrants to the best of your knowledge.
Can I take it?
Is that Brimmer? Is that Brimmer?
Yeah.
I was told it's a dismissal.
Huh?
It's a dismissal.
Thank you, have a good day.
Thanks. There you go. Mr. Curry, are you ready on Bremer?
We have nobody here, Judge, except for the attorney and myself. So I'm gonna ask Jane if we wanna let you issue a bench warrant, or if no one wants to be here, Judge, I don't know if it's worth the court's time.
No, I don't think it is.
So I just wanna get that clear.
I know he was in and out of custody. Get Mr. Washington.
Will do.
I like what she says.
Yes, Judge. Or you're not the judge, you're me.
You can call me Judge.
All right, Judge. We're
On People versus James Bremer, I know the people aren't ready to proceed. I know Mr. Bremer's not here, but Mr. Washington is. Mr. Washington, your client's had multiple incidences of incarcerations. I have multiple writs in the file. I don't have any reason to believe that he didn't appear. I think it's a waste of the court's time to hold and try to bench warrant for a case that the people aren't ready to proceed on. I know usually I would do it, but in this circumstance, even the last hearing, we had to do a writ to get Mr. Bremer's from the Wayne County Jail. I don't know if that's where he is, but I'll take your motion and then I'll take your argument. You want a motion to dismiss?
Yes, and good afternoon. Earl Washington, Neighborhood Defender Service, P31383, on behalf of Mr. James Bremer. And Your Honor, if the court please, I'll waive my client's presence. And
Yeah, I mean, I have multiple incidents where he's been incarcerated. Mr. Curry?
Judge is of course well aware that people are unable to proceed. And for the record, the defendant has failed to appear, so the people would be asking for a bench warrant.
Yeah, I think that, and he's a Romulus resident. I think that historically we've had multiple incarcerations. At this point, since the people aren't ready on this file, I'm going to go ahead and just dismiss it.
oh, thank you.
You're all set.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Mr. Curry, on Luster. Mr. Curry, on Luster, if it goes, how many witnesses do you have?
On Lester, Judge?
Yeah.
2.
Okay, are you
Maybe 3, but most likely 2.
quick?
Potentially.
And then on Smith?
So that's the gun case right afterwards. It's, I'm not sure. That would be a 1 witness. If
Okay.
they call the judge.
We're ready on Luster, so as soon as you're
Okay.
ready, let's do it.
Which one's the gun case?
That's the Smith one. That's
Smith
one.
one, that's with Sally Irwin at 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
I've never seen her hold an exam, so.
Let me know when we're ready, Michelle.
Oh, Michelle.